Hello everybody, Great J-Man Gaming here. So we have the new Battle Damaged The Transformers Le Film. Battle Damaged Optimus Prime. Been looking forward to this one. I did not procure the Studio Series 86 Prime with the trailer, so this is very good for a collector who doesn't have those. So we'll unbox this. I'll give you first impressions out of the box. We'll walk through transformation and see what kind of value this figure has. Before I do that, we'll just give you some close-ups of the box artwork. He clearly is battle damaged on his grill, and there you have the back. And on the back we have Optimus Prime battles his nemesis Megatron, of course. That was a big part of the movie. Yeah, so good looking box, and it is the 40-year anniversary of the movie. Wow. It's making me feel a bit old, but that's okay. So let's get this out of here and see how he looks out of the box. As usual, packed with tabbies. So we have warranty, we have instructions, which I'll get to later, and the box also had "one shall stand" on it, which is a famous quote from the movie. Let's get this out of here. Without causing him any damage. Almost free. So he's out of the box. Feels very weighty and very good. Take his gun. And then of course this would be the shard accessory, the fragment that Megatron throws at him in the movie and sticks into his chest. So that's that. It's got a red tip. It isn't completed all the way around, so obviously you'd want to display that top up, so that would just peg right into that hole. I've heard people saying it comes out easily. I mean, it is pegged in there. It's fairly solidly in there. I don't think that's coming out very easily at all. So if you want to display him like that with his hand on that shard, I'm sure you can do that. And then the gun also looks very good and feels very solid. So let's clear this out of here. So Autobox feel very good. Leader class figure, very nice. Feels quite solid. We'll go through the articulation, then I'll do a transformation. So starting from head sculpt, as you see, well, it's damaged on his faceplate and his antennas are bent. Full rotation of head, some up down, but he's fairly flat on the top. Good shoulder rotation, full rotation there. Hand articulation, he's got, not every finger is articulated, but one finger articulation and several other fingers together. Full wrist, forearm, etc. And rotation of the bicep joint. So very good that way. Legs, splits, etc. This shard just popped out, that's okay. Full leg kick, let's see what his knee bend is like. Very, very good actually. Beyond 90 degrees. His back is pretty decent. He does have the flaps that block a little bit. It's a little stiff out of the box. Yeah, he's got full back as well. And then front, full front. So very articulating. And we'll just look at his ankle tilt here. It's huge ankle tilt on this figure. So he's going to be able to get into some pretty dynamic poses, I'm sure. But overall, pretty impressed with the overall figure weight and feel out of box. Well, just for some size comparison, so we have Transformers the movie Prime here next to the Megatron. They're about the same size. Megatron's a touch taller, but very, very comparable in terms of size. Earthrise Prime over here, just to show you how much bigger. This is a leader class fig, so that would kind of explain the size difference. I will go through the transformation. It is very well engineered, pretty complex. I think first we want to take you through a few poses and show you the figure. Okay, so we'll see if I can recall the transformation on this fig. I do think it is pretty well engineered. So first off, you flip up these side plates on the forearms, and then the hand flips inside, and you close that up. You have to ensure that the articulated fingers are forming a fist. So close that up. And so next you straighten out his arms and rotate like so. And you pivot his arms up like this. And then he has these side panels which would flip up like so. Turn them around. This, I guess, butt panel folds all the way down. Yeah, that doesn't necessarily look the best, but it is what it is. And then has these little side rocker panels. These can be difficult to get out. I really struggled to get this out. I actually had to use my knife to do it. But those lift up and flatten out like that. I don't know if it's fat fingers or I couldn't get in there. But there we go. I just could not do it with my hands alone. This top flappy then unlocks his backpack. And then open up his backpack wheels like this. Then this whole backpack would fold down. You're then going to do an inner waist rotation. So I find it easiest just to rotate the top and then grab his torso and rotate the bottom like that. So you're kind of basically rotating the middle piece. And from the back side, you may have to fold his antennae in a little bit to make this fit, but push his antenna down and then rotate his head down into the cavity so this part is flush. Grill piece. The grill piece actually folds up and covers the head partially. It'll all be covered by the time it's all said and done. These former stomach panel pieces fold over and in to form together like that. It's kind of double jointed, and so you kind of have to push them together like so. Bottom piece from the head that you folded over, you flatten it out, ensure it's flat, and then fold it out like that so that it's flat. These side panels that we folded up to pivot the whole thing, they now will fold back down like that. On the arms, you're gonna push them to form into the truck as an L shape like that. The arms would then pivot back, and there's a tab that tabs into this top piece. Same thing on this side. So the arms would tab in there nicely, so that all holds it together. And then these parts of the arms swivel forward and tuck in with the rest of the truck. And there's some tabs in there. There's a couple tabs that go into these slots right in here. So you would just tab that in there like that. You don't really have to force it. Just it should lay flat like that and all tab together. You then rotate this around, and on the front of the truck, this is on a hinge joint, so it swivels up and it does tuck into the front of the truck. But that's not all we're going to do. We're going to fold this down and we're going to form the new grille of the truck. This one was really stiff out of the box for me. I actually, again, I had to use my knife to do it, but that folds out and makes the front grille of the truck. And then it should all tuck in together nicely on the seam here. We'll then deal with the side panels. So this side rocker folds out like that. Same thing on the other side. And then it all folds up and tabs together to kind of form the body of the truck. And same thing on the other side, fold it up and tab it all in together. So it should form a pretty solid truck body after that. It all comes together very nicely, pretty well engineered. Legs. So you open the front panels, and this leg is actually on a full swivel. So you swivel it around like this. And then on the back side, there's a tab here. You tab that leg piece onto the leg. You then grab this little tiny little tab in here. I use my nail, but if you can't get at that, use something else. And then there's another piece that'll tab together with it on this side. This can be a little finicky to get, but out of the box it was stiff. But again, for me, I was able to tab it all together pretty easily. The front feet fold down till they're flat, and you hear a click. And then the whole leg joints, the whole leg apparatus should tab in together like so to form the sort of back of the truck. Truck body will then pivot forward like this. And then this part will not only flap down, but it's also double jointed. So you actually have to push the whole thing down. And then it actually tabs into the wheels with there's tabs on this side. This can be a little awkward to get in there. So, be gentle with it. I don't think you want to force this because you could probably pop that tab off or break it off pretty easily. There we go. So now that front part of the truck is all tabbed together. You would flip the back part of the feet down to form sort of the brake light part of the truck. And then these tabs fold up and they tab into the slots on the legs. This was a little stiff on mine, so I actually had to kind of work it in there. You may find the same on yours factory, like you just gonna have to kind of figure out, okay, what makes it go in there without, busting anything. It will go flush like this, and it should look relatively flush to the back of the truck body. So we're not done yet. You want to open up the side panels on this and rotate it around to kind of form the wheel well that goes around the truck. And then this tabs into the leg, and there's a tab that goes into the truck body as well. Same thing on this side. Open it up, pull it down, rotate it around, push it up till it tabs, tab it into the leg. Make sure all this is nice and tightly tabbed in. I missed that the first time. And it does all come together pretty nicely. It's pretty well engineered. Last step is we're going to rotate out the truck wheels. And of course put his smokestacks up. You can place the accessories onto the back of the vehicle. So the gun will slot in like that. And then on the front, if you wish to use the shard, they've even though he's injured in the robot mode, they've actually included in the truck mode, so you can actually stick the shard in the front of the truck like so. And as you see, it does roll pretty well. He looks pretty good in truck mode. I'm finding the tabs are popping out a little, but I think that's just stiffness out of package for me. And as you see, it's all come together pretty nicely. Doesn't look compromised as the truck. And I assume it's compatible with his original trailer as well. If you happen to own the OG Studio Series 86, it probably would go in with this trailer because it's the same mold. So overall, I like the truck, but I did not really get this figure to keep it in truck mode. I'm going to be using it primarily in bot mode with Megatron. One thing I forgot to mention was this one also comes with an additional accessory in the Matrix of Leadership. So this is in his chest cavity. Maybe not the best paint job, but certainly he's very posable, and he could be posed with the articulation of his fingers. You could pose him holding the Matrix of Leadership. So kind of a cool little accessory. I guess people complain his chest cavity was unpainted. I may take some paints and touch that up. So overall, where am I at with this figure? I think it's great. I think this is a very well engineered fig. I like the battle damage. I like the battle damage on his face. I like how the antennae can be folded. I think the shard's a little bit gimmicky, but it does stay in there if you pose him like so, holding the shard in there. It will kind of... I guess they could have made the tip of it a bit longer so it seated into that hole a bit better, but overall, very great fig, really well engineered, satisfying transformation. I forgot to fold that back up. Overall, great figure, well engineered, satisfying transformation, great looking colors, great scale with Megatron. I may pick up the Battle Damaged Megatron after seeing what they did with this one, just to kind of have the Transformers the movie battle scene again. If you do not have the Studio Series 86 Commander Class Prime. This is a great pickup if you don't mind the battle damage, which personally for me I do. I'll just show you the damage to, his side and his sort of torso where Megatron hit him with a laser sword. They did a great job of that. It looks really cool, and I like the damage to the glass, etc. He doesn't have a too chunky of a backpack either. Overall, I think this is a great fig. It's like a 9 out of 10 for me. Maybe not quite a 10. Why don't I give it a 10? Well, the accessory doesn't quite work as good as I want. Maybe like a 9.5. How about that? And my backpack is a little bit loose in terms of tabbing in there, but these are really, really, really minor complaints. I think if you do not have an Optimus Prime, this is the one to get. It's about the same price as the Earthrise Prime, and he's definitely better than the Earthrise Prime in all ways. And so I would highly recommend pick up this fig if you're looking to get into the Transformers or get something that's really cool or iconic. This is the one you want. So very good job, Hasbro. Nicely done on this Battle Damaged Prime. And we hope to see you for more Transformers videos in the future. Take care. Thanks for watching. This has been Great J-Man Gaming. Please like and subscribe. Cheers.